This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Introduction. Gifted students can be viewed as those students who display a high level of creativity, intellectual ability, and cognitive ability, as well as a high capacity for motivation. This group of students has a strong inner desire to learn more and does not require intensive attention and training compared to other students. Gifted students are also associated with good performance in class. However, this is not just enough for a gifted student. In most cases, the number of gifted students varies from one place to another. Gifted students are found everywhere in all geographical regions and racial, ethnic, and socioeconomic groups. Discussion. How giftedness and the way gifted students are identified matters a lot. World events, people, and trends have significantly influenced how giftedness is defined and how gifted students are identified. However, there are some variations in which this is viewed. In the United States, talented education is entirely left under the control of the state affair. There is therefore no specification through the federal legislation which requires the states to provide any special attention to the gifted or talented children. In other words, every state is free to have its ways of identifying and classifying gifted students. Therefore, there is a probability of having different identification criteria for identifying gifted students ranging from one state to another. In every state, the identification criteria are very important because it acts as a guide in the formulation of programs to be implemented in the identification of those students who are gifted in each district. These states vary to some extent in definition of the gifted children. For instance, 50 states widely vary on the governing body that defines a gifted child. On the other hand, 21 states' legislature gives a definition that distinguishes gifted from non-gifted students. In their definitions, different states have used several ways of identification. Among these states, some use the terms gifted and talented in their classification. However, others have been using only the term gifted in their definition of exceptionally gifted students without any reference to the term talented. There are safe states which identify these kinds of students as high-ability learners. This reveals how diverse these definitions are. However, all these definitions converge to the point that they associate giftedness with a high level of performance. Students' giftedness can also be measured through intelligence tests. Through intelligent tests, it is easier to identify gifted children through IQ tests. However, the intelligence tests have faced a lot of opposition, especially from students from economically disadvantaged regions as well as minorities. According to Beeston, teachers play a very important role in the identification of gifted children. Teachers also play a significant role in nurturing the potential of these children. According to Siegel, teachers have the responsibility of recognizing the characteristics of giftedness among children. This will have a significant impact on overcoming biases that tends to rise in the process of identifying gifted students. In some cases, the identification of gifted students is characterized by biases. Teachers must also act as a catalyst in the learning of gifted students. For instance, it is important to understand that gifted students may sometimes question the truth which has been universally accepted by others. In such a case, teachers should encourage rather than intimidate such students. Intimidation will just but undermine the performance of these students. According to Beeston, most teachers have not been embracing the curiosity of such children. Various regulations govern the way gifted students are handled. For instance, there are various plans which have been developed for the exceptional students. The variations in the implementation of these processes could be the major possible causes of the variations observed in the region. Some of these programs or processes are vital in the identification of exceptionally gifted students. For instance, poor implementation of these programs may lead to lower identification of gifted students. For example, through the education plans, parents are supposed to be involved in identifying and reviewing educational plans for gifted students. However, this identification may differ from one individual to another. For instance, a parent may have two children who are both exceptional. However, their levels may differ. This parent may be tempted to believe that the other is not gifted through comparison. However, the two may all be gifted. In other words, the difference may be brought through identification criteria. Conclusion. In conclusion, this discussion has clearly shown that world events, people, and trends have significantly influenced how giftedness is defined and how gifted students are identified. It has been identified that different states have their unique ways of definition of gifted and non-gifted students. Some emphasize the term giftedness while others on the term talented. However, there are still a few states that use the term high ability to define giftedness. This identification plays a significant role in the implementation of the educational programs at the district level. Did you like this identifying gifted and talented students sample? To get more works like this one, make sure to check out the database of academic paper examples at ivypanda.com. You will find thousands of samples for all your study needs.